Let's give you that real lit, not that fake lit that you get trampled, fake druggy lit. Travis Scott be doing. And rowdy, bitches under my jock, huh? Pretty nigga might stop time. Y'all niggas run the shit, including red lights and stop signs. ASAP niggas on my team, huh? Niggas on my team, huh? It's the Nina. Classic. Let's fucking go. Alright. This week as idiot music that we gained from Kanye West, Travis Scott. Here's the thing. So I did see that, I didn't see the whole thing. I can't listen to Kanye West for an hour or two. Come on. The dude is too dumb. Respectfully. Okay? I watched little, like, snippets. I kind of, seek through the video when he was doing his Drink Champs. And this is the thing, man. Travis and Kanye, to me, are in the same boat. These guys don't give a damn about their fans. They look at their fans as a lick. Okay? These guys are goofies who make idiot music at the end of the day. Delusions of grandeur, extremely vapid, soulless, and that's always kind of been their vibe. So, Kanye thing, right? I don't know how people can listen to Kanye talk, man, to be honest with you. Like, when I see him, like, speak and how he's so disconnected and rambling and people think, oh, that's the work of a genius. Nah, that's somebody that's not really very coherent, honestly. And, it impresses the impressionable, the youth, the dummies, the people that want to seem smarter than they actually are. But to everybody else that's paying attention, he's a jackass. Word to Obama. He's a jackass. You know what I'm saying? Kanye West says dumb shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He says dumb shit for attention. And it works for his fan base who, respectfully are not the brightest people in the world like that. Now, of course, there are very bright people, I'm sure, that do listen to Kanye. But I don't think that, again, it's probably background music for them, Like, the people that are really looking and following Kanye West and being like, damn, you said this on this album and I really fuck with what you're saying, and they buy into sneakers and all the hype, they're probably not the smartest people, respectfully, okay? Now, the thing that's obviously generating a lot of controversy was the Just Blaze comment. I think that's kind of the most interesting thing that I saw anyways of the little random things that he was talking about. Oh, and he was talking about whether Common and Talib, I'll get to that in a second. Common and Talib, actually, let me just address that real quick since I brought it up. But the point is that, yes, Common is a better rapper than Talib. I do think that it's interesting how, again, people in the business know who's really dope and who isn't. And they can be very blunt about it. But it's rare. Usually people just pretend like everybody's dope or we're all on the same level and stuff like that. But Common's a better rapper than Talib. I mean, I can tell you that. I like Talib, don't get me wrong. And I think even Talib to a certain extent would probably feel the same way. But I don't think that the way Kanye kind of was dismissive of him and, sort of Talib's, the way that Talib rolls or his music, that I don't necessarily agree with, because I do think that Talib has some dope shit. He does. He has some dope shit. Reflection Eternal is a good album, man. So, Talib, despite some of his limitations vocally, has actually overachieved in my opinion. And I'm not even talking about record sales or whatever. I mean, he's literally made some great music. So, I respect both of them rappers. Now, the Just Blaze and the Kanye West thing is interesting because I do actually agree with the fact that Just Blaze copied people. When he came out the gate, he seemed to be sort of copying Swizzy and maybe Rockwilder, who were big at the time. I mean, Swizz came in with a whole different sound in the game. If you guys remember, like I did, in those days, when you heard a Swizz beat, it was some new shit. It really was. And Rockwilder, a guy that people never talk about and don't give enough credit, was also on some new shit, to the point where he even had his own song called The Rockwilder, right? Method Man and Redman, for those of y'all who know. But Rockwilder had some beats, man. He had a certain energy to his thing that there was a way it sounded. It was pretty cool. And Just seemed to kind of copy them a bit, at least when he came out. Like, if you look at, I think there's a song called Street Shit on Busta Rhymes' Anarchy album. basically, Justice doing sort of like his best Swizz Rockwilder impression at that time, and Justice the new guy in the game, right? And I don't think that song was dope. And again, this is not like a notable Busta Rhymes song. I'm just mentioning it as receipts. So I do think that Just has that thing where he doesn't quite have his own sound in a way. And I don't say that to be disrespectful to Just, because I do think that Just, despite that, is actually a great producer. And I prefer Just beats to Kanye's beats any day of the week, overall. I mean, the Kanye stuff on Blueprint was pretty cool, of course, but Just shit just bangs harder. Like, listen to Friday Night, the Young Guns, you know what I mean? Like, Just has some shit. He always had a nice little vibe, in his day, in those Rockefeller days. Those were, that was the peak, Flip Side. I mean, these are better beats than anything Kanye has ever really made, if we're being honest. So I don't really think that it's fair to just dismiss Just and be like, oh, he was just a copycat. Because ultimately, yes, Swizz is the more original artist, and I would take Swizz over Just Blaze any day. But I also think that Just, he had some shit and he knew what he was doing. And there are some people that will copy certain vibes or styles and they do them better than the people that are copying. It's very possible. Or they do them well enough where you can still respect it. And I think Just falls into that category. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, let's get into this Travis Scott thing, okay? Travis Scott, to me, like I said, is a Kanye clone. Makes that vapid shit that, honestly, I would never play and I don't give a damn about. But, Sicko Mode was okay. Again, I give it to him. I mean, look, guys that I don't listen to, I give them credit if they make something that's genuinely dope. And I think Sicko Mode is a dope song. It was one of the dopest songs of that year. Is it a classic? I mean, I don't know about that, but it's just a cool party jam. It's good. Mamacita had an interesting beat, I think. Skyfall that Metro did. There's some, like, Travis Scott songs that are okay. I don't listen to Travis Scott. It's not someone that I play ever. I'm going to be real with you. So he does have one or two songs that if they come on somewhere, I would at least, I wouldn't leave the club. Let me put it that way. So, Travis Scott to me is in very way, like I said, very much a Kanye clone in the sense that obviously, he's got the Kim Kardashian on his arm. It's that branding, merch, culty, fake vapid music, and look, listen, there's an audience for that shit. I mean, there's an audience for dumb shit, right? Clearly, right? And Travis Scott is making his money, and that's fine, I guess, but unfortunately it can get dangerous, and that's always the problem with hype beasts and having people that do this cult of personality nonsense, is that it usually leads to this kind of shit if it's unchecked, right? You have kids out here who are impressionable, you have people who are losers, respectfully, lonely or whatever, and they need a hero, right? And they're not, they're not really addressing some of their own drug habits and issues, and they lean onto someone like a Travis Scott for relevance and for to feel better or whatever. And that's a sad thing, but of course there's always someone ready to profit off your stupidity, low self-esteem, and it might not be positive for you. It might not work out for you. Like some of those people who went to that concert. Again, it is what it is, man. I'm not saying that, you deserve to die because you go to a Travis Scott concert. Of course I wouldn't say some shit like that, and that's not where I'm going at it. But what I am trying to say is that if you let these false idols, essentially, these fake-ass rappers, these whack rappers who promote everything stupid under the sun, and if you actually believe in these guys and you sit there and consume it and you believe the hype and run into it, bad things can happen to you. That's all. So yeah, I'm not really surprised. I mean, if you look into the history, Travis Scott apparently has had complaints about, overly rowdy shows. And I'm sure he encourages this because he wants to look lit on YouTube. You see, this is the thing that a lot of corny niggas do, right? They see cats like Rocky shining, right? They see Rocky having these dope shows and things like that. So they go, oh, how can I look lit? How can I look like I'm popping? Oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to really show these people. I'm going to encourage them to rush the stage. I'm going to encourage them to fight security or whatever, right? And we'll film it. And then it'll look real lit, like a rave and, drugs and everything. You see, the thing is, Travis Scott's music is sleepy time, right? Most of it is sleepy. It's not energetic by its its own nature at all. It's very much like, sure, you know, if I take drugs and I buy your merch or whatever and I believe in you, then sure, I'll turn up because I'm a mindless zombie. But it's not like the music itself has that passion that would actually make you lit without it. You know, like a Rocky. That's just, you hear Pretty Flacco, Thuggin Noise, Shaba. It's just, there's a certain thing to it, right? And you know what's interesting is we look at Travis Scott, aka ASAP Copy, copy the look of ASAP Rocky and the vibe to a certain degree. And you know, this is a guy that, like I said, his shit is vapid and low energy. And I've been to the Rocky concert. I remember actually, and one of the things that maybe I didn't mention in the video that may not be ASAP's fault is that I do remember him walking out and there was a mosh pit going on, I think. And I think he jumped in and he didn't like the vibe, or you thought it was too aggressive or something. That might have been one of the reasons why he actually stopped performing. And my point is that there are videos of Rocky online trying to look out for people in the front who are, you know, moshing maybe a little too hard and obviously not wanting to cause damage. And you see, that's a real artist, right? Because at the end of the day, right, a real artist, he wants you to be, or he or she wants you to be alive to actually listen to the music. Because they put time and effort into it, right? Travis Scott doesn't necessarily give a fuck if you're alive. As long as, you know, Utopia Mountain is popping and you can look good on YouTube, sure, you know, like, you know, let's have a couple people die, whatever, right? And you can see that, like, again, it's emotionless shit. Even his apology video to me was a little, you know, I think it's just like, you know, he just looks at it as, it happened type of thing. And look, listen, man, if, you know, y'all don't shut Travis down on some level, or at least stop him from inciting riots to a certain extent, and him and his team and all that stuff, they'll just continue doing it. You know, maybe this is a turning point for his career. Maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down. I don't know. But I will say that it's funny how when Travis Scott came out biting Rocky, and everybody was like, oh, Travis, not everybody, but of course the casuals were like, oh, Travis is the better Rocky, right? And now look at it, right? Who would you rather be, ASAP Rocky or Travis Scott? I've always said this, man. The star, you know, the star of Rocky, as I've said, you know, maybe a year or two ago, or in previous even videos and even on the internet, Rocky's star is going to continue to rise because Rocky is a genuine talent. You know, yeah, people slept initially, and, you know, now, of course, he's arguably, probably, maybe even bigger than he ever was, in a way, right? And that's the difference between someone that's genuinely talented, that genuinely drops a classic, versus other people who come out the gate with industry marketing and dick riding and hype beasts and all that goofy shit, right? Is that their star wanes. At first, they shine real bright and they, you know, convince the casuals and a few heads, actually, sometimes, because heads can get fooled, that they are actually the truth. But over time, their popularity and their impact, quote unquote, and our perception of their music starts to wane and go down. And that's what you're going to see with Kendrick and J. Cole and all these guys. And I've said this, you know, Rocky is on the up and up. It is what it is, man. You know, you drop great music that really speaks to people and actually means something, and Father Time can actually appreciate, your star's going to rise. You know, you come out with the hype beasts, industry formatted bullshit that, you know, we can see through, it's not going to last very long. But of course, I hope that in the process you've made your money, because usually that's what it's about anyway, right? As Public Enemy said, don't believe the hype. Peace.